Hey guys, it's Zach here, and today we're checking out another great release from Scream Factory. It's the 1963 psychological thriller, Paranoiac, directed by Freddie Francis, and featuring a great cast, all tied together by the legendary Hammer Productions. We've got an awesome physical copy of the film to check out, but before we get to the unboxing, let's talk a bit about the movie itself. Paranoiac opens with the annual Ashby family memorial service, remembering the Ashby parents, John and Mary, who died in a plane crash 11 years ago, followed by the death of their eldest son, Anthony, who took his own life in grief of the accident. This leaves the now grown siblings of Eleanor and Simon, played by Jeanette Scott and Oliver Reed respectively, alongside their Aunt Harriet, played by Sheila Burrell. The remaining family members live in their large estate, continuing their lives under a cloud of trauma, melancholy, and the resulting madness. Eleanor Ashby seems to be stricken with a long-term illness that leaves her mostly homebound as she lives her daily life quietly, but with a streak of paranoia. She's treated consistently by their live-in nurse, who helps keep her at ease. On the other hand, Simon Ashby, her brother, lives on in a much more heavy-handed way. He's a hot-headed smooth talker with a drinking problem who loves to drive his car around like Mr. Toad after a bottle of whiskey. Day to day, Aunt Harriet does her best to keep the dysfunctional family running, as the riches of the estate are soon to be passed down from the family's lawyer, Mr. Cossett, to the current inheritor, Simon. However, one day a man shows up claiming to be their long-dead brother Anthony. Despite a decade's passing, Eleanor is quick to accept her brother's return, while Simon and Aunt Harriet are reeling from shock. How can he be alive? Where has he been all this time? Is this truly their late brother and nephew, Anthony? Adoringly referred to as Tony by the family members, he makes his way back into the Ashby estate regardless. From here on out, the movie is a rabbit hole of madness as we get all sorts of perspectives, dialogues, and events to rack the mind and confuse our cast. On top of the initial mystery, we also get a horrifying, weapon-wielding masked figure, who shows up to attack those who begin digging where perhaps they shouldn't be. I won't go into the plot itself any further, but I can say I really enjoyed this movie. Paranoiac is both thrilling and dramatic, keeping me engaged throughout the film as my mind kept working to piece together just exactly what was going on. Each character seems to be descending into their own form of madness, and at times I felt like I was watching a Hammer production straight out of Wonderland. The dialogue is intense, the mystery is gripping, and the culmination of the Ashby family story gives the film quite a climax. Overall, another great pick from the Scream Factory's expansive catalog. Check it out if you're at all into 60s horror, and let me know down in the comments what your thoughts and opinions are on the film. Until then, we've got a physical copy to check out. So without further stalling, let's go unbox our release. Here we are with Scream Factory's physical collector's release of Paranoiac. It's adorned with newly commissioned artwork on the slipcover, with all the release information on the back. Underneath, we have our standard Blu-ray case with matching sleeve. If we open it up, we'll find a single Blu-ray disc on the right. There isn't anything otherwise included physically, but we do at least have a reversible sleeve, featuring the original poster work for the film on the optional side. I usually like to reverse my sleeves from Scream Factory releases, so as to have something different when I remove the slipcover. With that, however, we fully unboxed our copy of Paranoiac. We've got some great bonus features to check out alongside the film itself, so let's head on over and see what all is included on the disc. Scream Factory presents Paranoiac with a new 2K scan from the film's Interpositive. Alongside the feature presentation, we get a brand new audio commentary track to listen to for that rewatch, featuring film historian Bruce Hallenbeck. Hallenbeck has a calm and flowing narration as he discusses each scene in the film upon its arrival before diving much further into the cast, crew, and production as a whole. Throughout the duration of the viewing, he shares all sorts of background information, anecdotes, and more, giving Paranoiac a much more secure place among the Hammer production crowd, as well as director Freddie Francis' career. Check out the commentary if you enjoyed the film for a much more extensive dive. With the feature presentation aside, we move now to a collection of video bonuses to watch. We of course get a theatrical trailer for the film, as well as a still gallery containing 66 photos, stills, lobby cards, and promotional pieces. On top of that, we also have a pair of newly recorded interviews, as well as an archival featurette to bolster this release. The first interview runs just under 15 minutes long and is titled Drink to Deception. It's hosted by the always awesome Kim Newman, who takes the time to discuss Paranoiac, its origins, and more. He talks about Hammer Productions and their ascent into the horror genre, bringing up Paranoiac's early roots and the studio's decisions to adapt more horror and mystery novels. Check out Newman's interview for a fantastic discussion on Hammer and Paranoiac's history. Our second interview runs 25 minutes long and is titled A Toast to Terror. This interview features film historian Jonathan Rigby, who takes this time to further discuss Paranoiac as well. He talks about Freddie Francis's early career, as well as several of the other cast and crew members. It seems Paranoiac was a very early production in the filmography of many of the members involved, especially Oliver Reed, who would go on to become a very well-known name in the horror industry. Rigby also talks about horror films in general, and Hammer Productions' role in the genre during the 50s and 60s. Overall, his interview adds even more information for those interested in Hammer Studios and Paranoiac alike. With that, we can move on to the featurette and final video supplement for this release as a whole, a 28-minute making-of documentary featuring various crew members and more. We learn about Hammer Productions as a studio going into the 60s, their horror lineup following the popularity of the 1960 film Psycho, and all about one of their resulting works among the slew of adaptations and scripts, Paranoiac. With all sorts of guest appearances to talk about the film, as well as an incredible collection of clips, photos, and more, this making-of featurette is a great end cap to our release. Overall, I really enjoyed this collector's edition pick from Scream Factory. I'm always down for more Hammer horror, and Paranoiac certainly didn't disappoint. The film itself is a mind-bending thrill ride, and the accompanying supplements, new and old, make for a great release as a whole. Check it out for yourself, and until then, thanks so much for joining me here once more on Pajama Theater. Like this video and subscribe to support the channel, and leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know if there are any reviews you'd like to see in the future, and as always, thanks again, take care, and I'll see you next time.